Hi, everyone. Happy Tuesday, and welcome to the second video in the series of what's getting in the way of you living the life that you love or having the life that you love. And last week, the video introduced the term and the word structure and what that was and how it interferes, or I guess not interferes, but what it is structure is a thing with parts, and those parts are working together to create, to be. So the example I used last week was the house that you live in, and that it has doors, stairs, walls, roof, all those things, and it creates a house. And one of the key structures that I introduced to you last week was a life building structure. So how are we living our life? How's that working out for us? Are we living the life and the dreams that we want? Are we living in that? Or are we kind of living in a structure that's kind of oscillating or stuck or in flow? I think I mentioned those three types last week. And this is really exciting. So you probably had a chance to listen to that video and get a sense of, where am I at in that? What's true for me? And so this week it's really exciting because I'm going to go deeper into the story of structure and talk to you about these 4 parts. So I'll get into that, but I read a really cool quote actually today. I was putting something in my calendar, my paper calendar, and they have quotes at the top. See, it has at the top of every page. This is all the way in March. There's nothing there, nothing happening that day. But really beautiful quote, but I wanted to read to you that is just so perfect and relates to everything that we're learning and getting insights on right now. And this quote says, "Dreams are an expansion of life, an enlightenment, and a discipline." And that was written by Amelia E. Barr. She was a British novelist, quite reputable. And so that is just such a beautiful quote. I'm just going to read this one more time. Dreams are an expansion of life, an enlightenment, and a discipline. Oh, it's so true. I've been trying to think of ways to describe how do we be in our life, aware of our structures, aware of our patterns, and still feel the flow and the lightness of it, and the anticipation of spontaneity, that kind of thing, but still have a kind of discipline about it, right? The word discipline can sound so heavy sometimes, right? I'm so disciplined. It's very militaristic in a way, because we've had many exposures to the word discipline in not such a flowy way. So how do the two marry? And I just love how she put them together like this. Dreams are an expansion of life, an enlightenment, and a discipline. So that's really what it's about. So what I want to share with you is yes, we can have spontaneity. Yes, we can be in flow and it feel easy and effortless and fun and joyful and all those things. But there's also a part to it that has a sense of discipline about it, right? Because just like when you go to the gym and you want to work out and you have a goal or a vision for your body to look a certain way or feel a certain way. So there's an amount of discipline that we apply to the process of getting to that end result. And discipline doesn't have to feel heavy. Discipline doesn't have to feel like unrelenting. You know, those are some of the energies that I'm reading about that word discipline. But it can feel playful. Discipline can be playful. Discipline can be fun. So that's something to just kind of sink into, just feel into in this moment, and let that kind of be in your space right now when you listen to the rest of what I'm going to be sharing with you. So I'm really, really happy that you're here with me. I feel so excited and fulfilled to just be here recording this with you, right? I could do this all day, but I'm not going to. Okay, so I'm just checking out my notes. Okay, so we talked about last week, okay? We talked about structure. It's a thing with parts. They work together. They create something into being, create, okay? In the pursuit of building a life, there's 3 types of structures that are in play, kind of what's sort of creating the situation of your life right now. And the 3 types are stuck structure, oscillating structure, and a flow structure. And so last week we talked about stuck being, there's just no movement forward. There might not even be any change. There's just a static, stagnant kind of sense of stuckness. Might be a lot of fear involved in that, a lot of hopelessness. That might be some of the quality of that. Oscillating, that's the second one. Oscillating is when you've geared up, you have some energy, you're going for it, you're going for your end result, and you kind of gear up and you're kind of making steps. There's some traction being made, you're getting there, and then all of a sudden, some resistance, something gets in the way of that, and there's a swing back. And then you try it again, you go for it, and then there's a little bit of a swing. Or you might get to a certain level in that towards your end result and swing back just a bit. So there's this sense and energetic feeling and life experience that has this oscillating feeling. And then flow, that's the third one. So flow is you're in flow. What we talked about, the life of dreams and being enlightened, and it's an expression of enlightenment, and it feels easy, it's flowing. There's a discipline in it too, because you have a flow every day that you are committed to, and whatever comes up. It's not to say that flow doesn't have this experience of fear or doubt, but what flow does is it allows you to go around that. So those things are not stopping you. They exist. You may still experience them. They're just not stopping you and creating the oscillation to go back again. So it's a continuous forward movement, and that's flow. That's what we're all going to be in, right? Because we're learning this. Yes, and it's exciting. Okay, so there's 4 parts to a structure, okay? There's a current reality. There's your desired reality. I know you're looking at me. I'm thinking desired is here, but you're probably going to be the opposite. So desired reality, current reality. There's an identity, and that's you. So what identity do you have? And the action that's taken. So those are the 4 parts of a structure. And they're the same all the time. No different. They never change. I mean, not the contents of them, but those parts are always present. There's a current reality. There's a reality that's desired, where you want to get to. There's an identity that is present right here. And then there's actions that are taken. So those are all the 4 parts. Okay. So you're probably wondering, how do these 4 parts work together? Well, let's take, for example, last week, did you get a sense of what structure you might be in? Stuck, oscillating, flow, right? Oscillating is one of the most common ones. That was the one that I identified as a structure that I'd been living in. Okay, so let's work with oscillating because it's really popular, very common. So a current reality in oscillation would be, let's say you're a business owner or a coach. You have, the current reality is you have 10 clients and you're grossing $2,000 a month from those clients. This is just a simple example, okay? The desired reality is you'd like maybe 50 clients and grossing 10,000 a month. So those are the parts. And then the identity that's present in the oscillation, or in any of them really, particularly in stuff, is you're probably thinking, okay, I own a business, I have 10 clients, I'm making 2K a month. I know I want this. I feel like I could do this, but when I feel into it, I don't really, I don't know. Do I deserve 10,000 a month? Can I do that? Or what if I get to 10,000 a month and I screw it up? I mess it up. What if, oh my gosh, what if my clients think I'm a fake? Somehow they figure it out that I'm not worth $10,000 a month. And so these beliefs, fears, judgments, doubts, all those things, those are wrapped up in the identity, and perhaps not feeling worthy of receiving 10,000 a month, or getting 50 clients. What if I can't handle 50 clients? I can't do that on my own. And so when all of these little bits of resistance start to kind of pop up, and this is as you're taking your steps towards those 50 clients, right? You say, okay, I'm going to do this. And I'm going to find a way to make this happen. So I feel like my worthiness is a little bit shaky. So I saw this course happening. It's about how do I build more worthiness. I'm going to do that. Because I know if I have a little bit more worthiness, perhaps it could feel a little bit easier to do this. Maybe this could be more in flow. Or you're thinking, okay, I need some business savvy. I really don't know anything about business. No, maybe that's it. I don't know enough. Okay, so I'm going to take a class on how to do this, on how to be more business savvy, so that there's no way this could fail, right? There's just no way. I'm going to know everything I need to know to be successful. And then you're thinking, okay, well, I need to have the energy to do this. So I'm going to go and take some chakra balancing classes. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to really, so do you see how a lot of your focus and your intention is in the solving of a problem? So there's a sense of something that you're missing something, that you don't already have this worthiness, that you don't already know enough to get started. All these ways that we think of, okay, if I can just get this, then this will serve me and I'll be able to do this. And so your focus is all in this kind of problem solving energy and focus and attention. And it's kind of all there. Meanwhile, your desired result is over here, shining like the North Star, saying, I'm over here, but it still seems kind of far. But you're doing all of these actions to try and get there. And then something comes up, the intensity of the fear or the intensity of the resistance, whatever that is, it builds and builds and builds. And then you find yourself back and in the space of current reality instead of in the desired reality. And so things like procrastination set in, avoidance. Maybe there were 4 people that messaged you and said, I'm really looking to work with you. Can you give me a call or give me some information? Let's just say those calls were never returned. Something got in the way. We don't need to go into it, but something did. Or you're not putting yourself out there. So you're not making offers, making phone calls, networking, whatever that is. You're just not putting yourself out there. You're not being seen. So how's anyone going to know what you have to offer, right? And really, at the end of the day, it's all about what the energy is and the resistances that are coming up. that are potentially, most likely, creating self-sabotage in your life. And so you're just not at that end result, but you keep working and working and working and working to resolve something that you feel is missing inside yourself. And so it's really quite simple, isn't it? When you hear it, when you hear this, it sounds like, oh gosh, I mean, it's so straightforward. But when it's actually happening to you in your life, it can feel very subtle. Like you really wouldn't maybe notice it in the beginning, right? Or at all. I didn't notice it for decades, because I thought I was always just a work in progress. Oh, how funny is that? And so this is where the pendulum starts to take effect. And this could be decades and decades of an experience. So you didn't get to this end result, okay? So you say, okay, I'm going to give this another try. I'm going to enter this business program for a whole year. I'm going to have a whole year of support. But everything that you're doing to support yourself into getting to that end result, the 50 clients with the 10K a month, all of a sudden resistance pops up. And then a little bit of self-sabotage. You don't call those people. You don't put yourself out there. You're not making an offer. You're not writing your program. All these things is to bring you back into a place of safety and security. Okay, and then when we go into the brain, the science of the brain, since the beginning of time, if we experienced any traumas as a child, those traumas create neural pathways in the brain. And so that brain, as soon as it feels that fear, the flag goes up. The pathway to follow is the one that creates a sense of safety, security, the path of least resistance, because it's the path well traveled. So that's how the science of the brain is connected into these structures. It's just fascinating. It's fascinating. And so, okay, so this is the pendulum, okay? So we try again. The resistance comes up. Then we try again. The resistance comes up again. We take another class to resolve our resistance. We're trying to resolve. And so you see, that's where the focus is always, is trying to resolve something that we think is wrong with us fundamentally, that's not allowing us to get to this end result. Does this make sense? Yeah. Well, it made sense for me. It was kind of an aha moment when I started to do this work. And the common denominator that I felt in all of what I would call, I don't like the word failure, but not living in my end result, the common denominator I thought was me the whole time. And I thought, okay, I have to meditate more, meditate longer, go to more retreats. I have to take a class on how to love myself. I have to take a class on how to get more worthy. I have to take a class on how to make money, how to master money, like money mastery, and you mean, I'm not saying we don't dive into something that really feels fun and exciting for us to take, like a class. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, when we're intentionally in a life-building structure of having the life that we absolutely adore and love, and we're in bliss in as many moments as we can get in that day, and we throw off the covers in the morning and are so excited to get out of bed and live and experience and be in creation, be in enlightenment, because that's what it is, right? And the discipline of it is, I'm getting up and I'm committed to it because I freaking love it, because it freaking feels good. There's a discipline in that. The doubt could pop up and flower and bloom right in front of us. And we can either stop going towards what we love and continuing and flourishing and building on that, or we can go through it. We can go around the doubt and around the doubt. And I'm going to share more in the future about how do we work with that, because this is a journey that I wanted to share with you so that we can wrap our heads around it. My head's around it, but I wanted to share it with you and share as much as I can, so that by the time we get to a place where we can work together, which can be any time really, but I want to share this information so that you get a sense of it and you can follow this path, and it gets really clear. But the common denominator of any failure or not being in the end result in the beautiful life that you love is not you, it's structure. It has nothing to do with you. You are an incredible, blessed, magical, wizard-like human being that has incredible talents, incredible uniqueness and skills that the world desperately needs in this time, especially in this time. That's you. You are a powerful creator. But if you're in a structure that's not facilitating your creation, then it's just not going to work. It's just not going to get there, right? So you are going to now, so it's no problem. So that's another thing. When you just kind of see where you are in the whole process, there's just this kind of acceptance that's just like, oh, okay, well, anything can happen in any moment, and I'm committed to that. And it doesn't matter. The past doesn't matter. It's all about what I'm choosing right now. And that's it. There's no judgment. So the common denominator of all failure is not you, it's structure. So that's a load off your shoulders, right? It's just structure. It has nothing to do with you. And structure was created super, super early in our lives, right? When we're told you can't do this, you can't do that, you have to do it this way. You have everything kind of natural about our play and our heart was kind of suppressed. So that's just a natural pathway that a lot of us go through. You know, it's just normal. It just really is. So, so what you get to walk away with today is just this deeper understanding of how these parts of a structure work together. You have a current reality with no judgment, total acceptance. It is what it is, no judgment. You have a desired reality. So what's the blissful, incredible, beautiful life that you want to be experiencing right now? Right? You want to work 3 hours, coach 3 hours a week, bring in 100K a month, 10K, whatever that number is, and travel, hang out with your friends, right? If that's the life you live, then you get to go for that. Okay. And then the identity. So it's what are the current things? So these are based on past traumas. These are perceptions of ourselves, judgments, beliefs, anything like that is going to pop up, the identity, and it's going to want to sabotage you getting to that place, because that place is the unknown. It's not predictable. It doesn't feel safe. It doesn't feel secure. So it's going to bring you right back to the current reality. Totally normal, totally okay. And then the actions you're taking. So the action you would take would probably be procrastination. That's an action, right? Avoidance, fear, limitation. So anywhere where you limit yourself or stop yourself from doing something, right? And you may take some action. You may take a business class, and it is so totally worthwhile because it shows you how to do maybe nurture sequences where, how do I send emails to people and what do those look like? That's totally normal, totally great stuff. But when you're in a oscillating structure and you're in a problem solving structure, because that's what that's called, it's a problem solving structure. It's not a creation structure. then you are in this whole process of trying to fix some sense of lacking or something that you don't have in order to get to the end result. Whereas in a creative structure, which is flow, you're going to be taking the action. Something in your identity will pop up, doubt or belief. And you say, okay, doubt and belief, I'm going to work with you right now in this moment, which I'm going to be sharing with you in a future video, and I'll show you how. And you're going to work with it right now in that moment. And then you're going to continue to take the action steps towards your end result. So instead of being in problem solving where you have to go and fix something that's wrong with you, why you're not in your energy, fix, forget the fix, leave it all there, leave it all behind, don't do it, and just focus on how do I get to my end result. And when resistance comes up, I deal with it right away, or I work with it, or I let it go, or I love it. So there's lots of different words to describe that interaction with that. And then I continue to walk towards my end result. And that structure, that creative structure, always works, always wins. There is no oscillation in that. There is no stuckness in that. There's some discipline in it because there's some courage, whatever that is, that makes us know in this moment, I am not letting this swing and oscillate back. I'm not doing that. I'm committed. I'm disciplined about it. But it's a playful discipline, right? Because we're training the mind to work with these energies and say, okay, resistance came up. I'm going to work with this resistance right now. I'm not going to take self-sabotaging action out of that resistance. I'm going to take action that's out of creation, that's out of fun, it's out of what I love, and that is going to be my focus. You create all new neural pathways in the brain, so it's less and less easy to follow the path of least resistance. So these are all moving in tandem. This is a lot of information, so maybe listen to this a couple times so that it makes sense. And if you have any questions, please post those right underneath this video. I would love to hear your questions and be able to answer those and chat with you about it. It's absolutely fascinating, isn't it? When you see kind of all the different pieces that are at play, right? When it comes to living the life that you love. Yeah, so just share, the call to action is just to share your insights. What aha moments have you had by hearing all of this, and insights about what cycles you've been in? How long do you think this has been happening for you? For me, it was decades, my whole life, really. And it's really just incredibly freeing to not be in that structure anymore. It feels like magic, and magic is a pretty damn good feeling to have. So if I've missed anything, let me know. You might want to message me or just post it. Just post it in here and I'll see it. If you have any questions about your structure or the parts of your structure, and you just like some clarity on that, that's great too. If you're interested in one-on-one coaching, that is awesome too. Just message me. And this is going to continue. I'll be doing another video next week and sharing with you deeper and deeper some of the aspects of all this. And you know what? At the end of the day, because I'm doing this in pieces, it's probably not going to all come together. And eventually, I'll probably have an event where I talk about this in one solid event so that it all comes together. But I think this is great because this is a starting point. I get to share some detail about each of them and just have fun doing it, right? Because I just love these teaching moments. It's one of my most favorite things to do. I live for this. I just think it's fun to have these conversations, and it would be fun to have you post underneath this and share. What are your insights? What cycles have you been in? What questions do you have about your structure and the parts of your structure, the identity or the action you're taking, or your current reality and your desired reality? And what is your desired reality? Post, what do you want to create? I think that's the funnest part, because we hold back, saying that, oh, this is possible, because we think deep down there's a belief that it's not. Right. So this is what I'm talking to you about. This is what we're unpeeling, unraveling, looking at all the little pieces that are saying this is not possible. And that's why we might be in this structure that's either stuck or oscillating, because there's a part of us deep down that was created, years and years and years ago in our childhood, even generationally back, right? This can go back generationally through DNA, but it can all be changed, right, by this work that we're going to do together. So this is it. This is the magic. This is just us exploring and getting insight, and then saying, okay, I accept this current reality, and I'm ready to go for what I want. I'm ready to live my dream. So share what your dream is, and any other insights and questions. I love seeing you. I love being with you. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next week. Bye for now.